but everything in LA ain't always what it seems. You might get fooled by those other guys in town, but we're down by a long. We know our way around too much.
Hello, House. Welcome to this episode 291. I'm here with David and Lewis.
Hey.
What's up, everybody?
And we're coming back from another week. Another draw. LA against Portland. In Portland, a 0-0. That comes to a winless 4 games for the LA Galaxy. 12th place still.
Three points out of 12.
Fun. How are you guys feeling?
Not good. I mean, fine, I guess. It's not really affecting me one way or the other, is it?
I was going to say, the same for me as it has been for several seasons, completely indifferent.
I mean, you know, it's frustrating. Bobby, you and I watched the game actually together in person. That was a rare experience.
Rare.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know,
it's been a while.
We're not in the stadium, obviously. But
yeah,
it started out frustrating, right? Like I think at no point did we ever feel optimistic throughout the point of the game. Maybe when you know, obviously we had Preston Judd starting in place of Dejan Joveljic and the injured Chicharito. Do we have any other lineup changes other than Preston Judd and Caligari making his debut?
No, I think everything was the same.
So we had Caligari making his debut. He takes the place of Kelvin Leerdam. And as we said, we had Preston Judd also making his Galaxy. Is that his Galaxy debut, or has he had like garbage minutes here and there?
Who?
Preston Judd.
I think he's been on. He's had garbage minutes last season.
He's had garbage minutes, or didn't he feature in that one game against Chivas at SoFi?
Yeah, but that's not a league game, so it doesn't count.
Oh, okay. I thought we were talking about just like first.
No, I'm talking about Galaxy like official MLS minutes.
No, he's been on he was on the pitch last week, wasn't he, or 2 weeks ago?
Did he? Oh, he did come on. He did come on for a few minutes. Okay, well. He gets his first Galaxy start. I thought he looked pretty good. You know, Bobby, what are your thoughts on Preston Judd?
I thought Judd looked. I mean, with their expectations quite low of not knowing what we're going to see or anything, I thought he did great.
Where does he fall on the Ethan Zubak scale?
Much better for me. much higher. I mean, I feel optimistic with this kid. I mean, I feel like he could get better, and I like his muscle. I like his height. I like his speed. And I mean, I you know, when you were asking, you know, there was never a moment that we were very optimistic about this team, and yeah, that's kind of true. I mean, because we're coming from knowing what to kind of expect. But also when things actually did happen, it was kind of surprising. I mean, I think when Brugman made that shot from far, and then it was blocked, and then again here, Preston Judd, you know, he breaks through a few defenders and he holds on to that ball, and then he upsettingly hits the post on the outside and bounces out. But you know, I really liked him, man. I thought he was really good. I mean, him and Caligari. I mean, for a guy that just stepped off of a plane as well. I mean, for guys that just come in kind of cold. I mean, I don't know how cold Judd is, but they did really, really well.
Yeah, I liked Caligari as well. Lewis, what do you think about Caligari?
I thought Caligari did fine. I didn't really see any like flaws in the game. I thought he, at the very least, as of right now, it's again only one game, and you're playing against a very depleted Portland side. But you know, I don't think you're really going to skip a beat, going from Araujo to Caligari at the moment. But again, obviously the waters were.
I hope not.
Yeah, but
I don't know though.
Yellow card.
Yeah. So I mean, there's also the. You know, it's shallow waters, right? I mean, you're playing against Portland. You're going to play the other Cascadia team, you know, the good one, this week. So obviously, he's going to have his hands significantly more tied up, trying to contain that offense. But you know, overall, I liked what I saw. I like what I saw in Preston Judd. I think the difference between what you saw in Judd and Joveljic is that. You know, for as good of a finisher as Joveljic is, and for him being at the right spot at the right time, the way the Galaxy offense is currently functioning, or not functioning is that you can't get Day on the ball. He can't do anything, right? So, we talked about how Chicharito is, he'll be like on an island. He'll just kind of, everyone blames him for not scoring or whatnot. But it's like, dude, he depends on other people. He depends on someone feeding him the ball and to find him in that spot where he is probably more than likely going to get a really good shot off, but you can't get him the ball. Jovic is something similar. Preston Judd, however, seems to be, well, if the game ain't going to find me, I'm going to go look for the game.
Yep.
Tracks back, tries to get involved in the game. And that's, for me, like, you saw it instantly when he did come on as a sub. I want to say, I think it was against Vancouver. I think it was the home game against Vancouver. He came on, Jovic, I think he didn't even take a shot in that game, maybe one shot. And then Preston comes in, all of a sudden, he gets a shot off, like, really, really quick. Like, they give him a long ball or they give him a through ball. It's not a coincidence that, like, oh, why did they find Judd but they couldn't find anybody else? Like, well, maybe he's, making himself a little bit more available. Maybe he's reading the game better. Maybe he's tracking back more. He's not that disconnected.
Differently.
Yeah, he's not disconnected as disconnected as the midfield. So,
and he's got a bigger body too. He's got a bigger frame. So, like, if you're gonna pass the ball into Jovic in the same way that you pass the ball into Judd, I mean, Dejan's going to get muscled off the ball really easily. And I think that Preston Judd is a little bit better equipped to, he's a big guy, so he can hold all that stuff off. It's funny, Bobby and I were talking about like Judd and his ability to, like, muscle off people. And my initial reaction was, I don't think he's that big. And then Bobby was like, oh no, he plays big in FIFA. And then I saw him next to some of the other players and I'm like, oh, he is big. Oh my gosh. So I think I
that's
just
my relation. That's my relation
I think
to
I just misjudged. Yeah, you're the FIFA relation. Yeah, I think I saw him next to Ricky, and that made him look like like a giant Sasquatch. But obviously he can hold the ball, and he's just a wily guy. He's a guy that's just going to go in there and just create chaos.
Can he be your Klaus? No. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, maybe if you went by Judd and had like an H in there somewhere, maybe. But I overall, I think that Preston Judd impressed me, and I thought that Caligari was fine, as you said. I don't think that he was especially, like, outstanding at anything, and he wasn't especially bad at anything. Bobby, what do you think about Caligari? Did you give your opinion on Caligari?
Yeah, I did. I thought he did great for just coming in super cold and not knowing anybody, nobody on the field, and playing in a country he's never played in a league he's never played in. That to me that's phenomenal. I think he's gonna get much better. I think he will be. It's too early to say. I want him to be a 1-for-1 for Araujo. But I want him to I feel like he can be better than what we had with Araujo. Yeah, but again, it's time because it's just one game. I mean, and again, it's a lowly Portland and blah 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 blah, all that stuff. So yeah, we'll just see. I just hope, like, not in 2 games he becomes a flop and we're all pissed off again.
Well, Lewis is going to tell us.
Been there before.
Lewis is going to tell us the story of what the stats tell us, and then we're going to tell him, why we agree or disagree with that.
I'm obviously rooting for Preston Judd. As someone, I admit, that doesn't follow Galaxy 2 very closely, I'll know if they won or lost in any given week. But as far as individual players, who to watch out for, any sort of in-depth look, that's not me. I have heard many things about Preston Judd. I've heard that he is like the guy, finally getting his time. How he didn't get time. Maybe they were too scared to, put him in and, kind of ruin his confidence if it didn't, pan out. He's also a striker, in which, for the Galaxy, it's really hard to break through as a striker because you're always signing some sort of DP or, some sort of guy, up front. So it's really, really hard to break the starting lineup as a striker. If you play for the Galaxy, you're probably better off playing defense. Look at Jalen Neal, look at Julian Araujo. What was the other guy? The other guy who's on the under 20s. He went to Arizona now.
For Kranis?
Yeah, for Kranis. So you're better off doing that. So the fact that Preston Judd can actually get in here and get some minutes, albeit because of injury or international duty, and still kind of try to impress, it says a lot about him.
He showed up.
I'm kind of right now, and it's a little blasphemous, but at least from what I saw, I think I'm in the camp where I know you're not going to get the start, but I would like to see you get the start against Seattle,
just to
see a little bit more. And if doesn't work out,
why not?
Guess what? Aeon's better as a sub anyway. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like a win-win. So I know that's not going to happen. I know Aeon's going to start. I'm well aware of that, but I would like to see this reversed. Although maybe Seattle is the wrong. I think Seattle is the wrong
start them together.
Game. I guess so, but Vanny's going to be like, how can I possibly do that? And blah, blah, blah. But I he didn't light the world on fire, but he did fine for what he did. And I see him more as a rookie than I do Caligari, even though Caligari's younger and newer to the organization.
But Caligari's like he's much more experienced.
He's played in a better league.
And many more competitions and many more high level competitions. So
yeah. So but they're both technically, as far as MLS rules, are rookies. But it's obviously I'm going to give the edge to Caligari here as far as experience and even soccer IQ. But going back to the game in general, so I was frustrated maybe second half. In the first half I know a lot of people were saying this is the best half the Galaxy have played. I'm like, though you're not wrong, but this is one of those that thing I talked about last week where you're saying like, well, it's factually correct, but it's not something you should be celebrating. It's not something that you should going in there as a way to spin things. It's like, yeah, you did look better, but you went up against a team that's not good and is missing 6 starters. You better look better. You were practically playing a USL side. And David Bingham was in goal. And guess what? You still didn't win. I am not going to be one of those that say, hey, you're unbeaten in 3, or you play road games and you got the points. Yeah, you did, but you're also leaving points on the table. You're leaving several points on the table by doing that. Now, if you go into Seattle and you got a 0-0 draw, okay, that's actually pretty tough to do. I would be very surprised.
Especially the way we're playing right now. It'd be like
that's what I'm saying. Like if you did that right now, if even at home, if you're able to get a draw, I'm like, okay. Again, I want to see how the game plays out. Where it's like, dude, you probably should have won. You should have scored that. You should have finished that. You had significantly more chances or opportunities. You shut Seattle down, but you didn't win the game. You can say it was unlucky, but nope. If you look at the offense, that's a theme. At least right now, that's a theme. So I don't think it's unlucky. Point is, right now, this offense isn't clicking. It seems very evident now, if it wasn't before, that regardless of who you're putting up front, it can be Judd, it can be Joveljic, it really doesn't matter. Chicharito is a presence. And the fact that he is not playing and that he is not making the runs, and again, no disrespect to the other two, but when we're talking about experience and soccer IQ, and say what you say about him, this guy was in Madrid. This guy was in Manchester. This guy was in Leverkusen. This guy's been around. He is Mexico's all-time leading scorer. Say what you say about him. I know we did, but the guy obviously has some sort of skill set. The guy obviously knows what he's doing, and his IQ is up there. That is going to be missed. So when you're saying we don't miss a beat with, putting in Joveljic, well, yeah, we kind of do, because Joveljic is a similar player, but it's just not the same. It's definitely not the same. I think he is greatly missed. I think his runs and, his presence alone really changes the dynamic of the team. It also obviously is going to affect the other team's mindset as to how you want to defend, the Galaxy with that threat, lurking up top. So obviously he is sorely missed. I think Tyler Boyd is. He's exactly what I thought he was going to be. He is not a game changer, but he is a solid addition. I think he's fine where he is. I think he creates depth. I think he could still improve a little bit, but overall, I think he's doing fine. But he's not a game changer. He's not that, hey, this is the missing piece. This is another great, credible threat to a 3-4-headed monster, and this is your that piece that's missing in MLS Cup for MLS Cup. Nope, he is a piece. He's not the piece. You are. I don't think he's meant to be. I
don't think he's meant to be.
No,
he
wasn't. No, he wasn't meant to be. And I never said he was. I'm saying he's doing exactly what I thought.
Like he kind of you're expecting.
No. I don't think anybody can be that piece right now. I don't think anybody.
The problem is that you're still missing that final winger. Right, because even if you're there with Boyd, that gives you width on one side. Where's the other side? You're gonna need that balance. And we joked around, and I think someone had said it on Twitter as well. Oh, I think it was Eli Lesser. I think he said the same thing. He's like, I'm kind of missing Kevin Cabral in this game, and obviously he was gonna get crap for it, but it went to be a joke. Well, it turned out Kevin Cabral ended up scoring to earn a draw on the road. And the Galaxy couldn't score, period.
In a run, I've never seen Kevin Cabral make. Like, that was the incredible part of that. It wasn't so much that he scored the goal; it was the run that he made to try and evade the defender.
Well, I mean, we always said while he was here was that he was able to.
He got into good spots, right? He got into good spots, and he was able
to create the chance. Yeah, he was able to create the chances. Maybe people thought, okay, maybe we don't have to mark him, right? Because we know how his finishing is. So
that's what I'm sure that's what Austin thought.
Probably. But in one game, or at least, again, I'm not sure Kevin Cabral scores again. I'm just saying that in that one game, he matched the entire total of what he scored all of last season. So, there's that. But I see what the joke was meant to be, right? Like, you have no one that can pull, even if it's okay, we can't really stretch the field out here. We don't have another one that can get into that position, because if Kevin Cabral was able to finish, he's probably one of our top goal scorers. He's probably one of our big offensive threats. As he was able to create chance after chance after chance. It's just his finishing was so god awful that it just didn't matter. Right now, the Galaxy are creating very minimal chances. If I even go back to that Portland game, in which I'm going to admit this, they dominated. I don't say that word like as often as I would like to with the Galaxy, but they straight dominated that first half. And the more that game went on, the more frustrated I got, because I said, you know what? If you're not scoring right now and Portland continues in this game, they can steal this game from you. And that nearly happened in the 88th minute.
Yeah.
So it was a game that maybe we thought they didn't really deserve to lose. They probably didn't even deserve to tie. But it's one of those games where it's like, hey, dude, this is the way the game is, and they could steal this from you.
Yeah.
Let's look at the stats, because as much as we thought that the Galaxy in the first half, I will say they did completely dominate.
Everything changed.
And and the second half, you probably had a different outcome. What was the overall stat? What does the overall stat show? Well, as always, if possession was the indication for a winner, well, the Galaxy would probably be undefeated, because we love to hold the ball, but do absolutely nothing with it. 67. You keep what? I'm sorry?
No, sorry. Go on with the stat.
67% possession for the Galaxy compared to 33. That's a lot. That's quite a bit. Yeah. You're almost at 70%. You held the ball a hell of a lot more. What did you do with the said ball? Well, the Galaxy took 17. Yeah.
I want to know. I want to know what the possession percentage between Brugman, Delgado, and Puig were, because I feel like, again, you talked about it at the beginning of the season. This is maybe the best midfield trio in the league. They have nothing to show for it right now.
Yeah, they don't.
They have nothing to show for it. I don't even think they're the best midfield trio in the league.
Well, they can't be. Honestly, they can't be right now.
I think.
I think Ricky Puig probably had the most possession of any Galaxy player, and I just saw him looking around. Like, I think somebody posted a heat map the other day. I think Mike Gray retweeted a heat map of Ricky Puig, and he was all over the field.
It's because he's trying to go in every direction that he
nothing
can.
To show for it. Yeah, there's nothing to show for it. And I feel like they took too long they took too long to build out passes. In moments when they could have been, I think Vanny even talked about this, in moments where they should have hurried up and gotten the pass further up the field, they took their time. They built it out.
But that's not even new. But that's not even new. That's who they are. That's who they are. I know Vanny was blaming the grass on that particular these incidents. But this is come on. No, I know it is. But I'm just saying. But this has always been on the transition. We are so freaking slow, dude. We can be on ice, dude, and we will not go fast.
I think it was Delilah, one of our nieces, that said the Galaxy take 3 passes what should be done in 1. Yeah. And that's that perfectly describes what this 100%. Midfield trio is right now. So sorry, go on with the passing percentages and all that.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that 100%. They are obviously slow in transition both ways. It's just something that hasn't been fixed, Okay, so 17 shots for the Galaxy, 10 for Portland. So the Galaxy did outshoot Portland. Here are accurate passes, by the way, 511 for the Galaxy at 86% accuracy to 197 passes completed for Portland at 71% accuracy. Now, here's the stat that obviously is the one that you should be looking at the most. 17 shots. Taking 17 shots means you created quite a bit of good chances, right? Yeah, maybe there were a couple shots in there that Bingham got a hold of, and I know that the Galaxy hit the post twice. Officially doesn't count as a shot on goal when that happens. But when you look at that, they almost scored and whatnot. Now, according to stats, and once again, I have no idea what constitute as a big chance, but big chances created 1, and I have to imagine it was Preston Judd's shot. That was a big chance. It wasn't Brugman's? No, because Brugman was an outside shot. That was probably not on target. That was probably a low percentage shot.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
That's a low percentage shot. Yeah, it's a low percentage shot. Preston was practically 1-on-1. He had to get the defender on him, but he was able to get away from him. He got the shot off. He's inches away. So I have to imagine that was the one that was the big chance. I'm not entirely sure. I can't think of another one really that would fall into that category. But only one chance that they big chance that they created, same as Portland. And again, I have to assume that maybe it was that final shot in the 88th minute, in which it's the only thing that I can really think of. So that's where that lands. So expected goals from these: 0.99, 0.98. That was the expected goal.
2 terrible teams.
2 terrible teams couldn't even get a full goal out of it. And as quote-unquote dominant as the Galaxy were, they were pretty much even as far as quality of shot was concerned. Now, I actually even said this when they allowed 33 shots against Kansas City. The expected goal was actually very low. So if you want to give them credit, they took a lot of outside shots. There was a lot of block shots. They didn't really have that one shot that said, oh my God, that just made you that should have been in. There wasn't a scare.
The Preston Judd one.
No. I'm talking about the game against Kansas City.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All 30 shots, there really wasn't one shot that was oh my God, that should have been a goal. What a save. Or he just completely whiffed or whatever. I think maybe 1 out of that 33. But the expected goal was very, very low for that. This is kind of similar. Galaxy didn't really create all that much, which again, when you look at the team that they played against, and even if you're dominating the possession, and even if in the first half when you were out shooting Portland, because I don't think they allowed Portland to take a shot until after the 40th, if I recall correctly. So it took them almost the entire half for Portland to finally register a shot, let alone a shot on goal. Now, obviously, the rest of the 9 shots came in the second half, and things changed up a little bit. But for a team that did dominate in that first half, to not have an expected goal that's higher, to not even score when David Bingham is in between the posts.
We have a chicken that can't lay an egg.
I go back.
We have a chicken that can't lay an egg.
I go back to last week's question that I posted after drawing Vancouver. If you can't beat Vancouver at home, please enlighten me. Who can you beat?
Seattle.
Now, Seattle is going to be the team because MLS. Yeah. And of course, I know that there are some are sarcastic, some really mean it. It is one thing to, I have this argument with people, it's toxic to be around someone who's always thinking negatively. And I said, this is true, but it works both ways. It's actually very toxic to be with someone that I think's completely positively. You need some sort of balance here, right? And so when I had talked about my little rant and you guys came right after me, I was like, you know what? We really shouldn't be looking at this half full here, because based on what we've been seeing the past decade, there's nothing half full about what's going on with this Galaxy. And of course, me being me, you really can't just say, well, everything is half empty either. And we're missing the point here, guys. What we need is not to argue whether it's half full or half empty. It's, I need some more fucking drink. That's what we need. We need something just injected into like this team, or actually something subtracted from this team to move forward, because it's just, it's, what else can I say? There's nothing that I can say to put something positive in this light, because it's it's not worth saying it. It's not worth saying that, hey, you know what, you got a road point. Yeah, but it's against a weak depleted side. You're basically playing half a USL side. You don't get to draw against a USL side, regardless if you're at home or not. This is not an excuse. I'm sorry. You didn't take care of business.
Lewis is arguing with himself.
Again, we're not making excuses. We're not happy with how anything's going. We're not happy with the draws. We're not happy with the performances. We're not.
It's all your fault, guys.
I will say, okay. You want to talk positivity? How about this? Jonathan Klinsmann has been very serviceable. I thought that I think that Bond doesn't make the save that Klinsmann makes. In that last minute shot. I mean, it was just a good reaction. Maybe Bond's not in that spot that Klinsmann is in. So I think that he's been positive. I thought that getting Caligari in the game and him not looking out of his depth was a positive thing. And that's kind of the best I can do. I know what's coming next, but before we get to that, I do want to ask you guys, because I do feel like this is going to be a little bit of a point of contention, because I did hear that a particular player had a good game, and I think Bobby and I are both in agreement with this. And the last time this happened, created a lot of controversy. So, Raheem Edwards. Let's talk about Raheem Edwards. A lot of people are saying, and the stats will back this up, he had a much better game. This is probably the best game he's had this season. I feel like Raheem Edwards was a huge liability for the Galaxy in this game.
I feel that is a description of Raheem Edwards. I feel like he is a liability all the time, but he's also great. It's 50 and 50-50 for me. He does something incredible. It's like, oh, damn, awesome. And then the next...
He's the liquid in the glass. He's both
and then
full
the next
and not
couple
full.
Seconds, he does something to mess it all up. Or even in the same play, he'll mess up and then save it and then mess up again.
In the same thing?
So it's just like...
Yeah. But all of it compounds into creating situations where you could have gone on a break, you could have relieved the pressure, and you messed up. You made up for your mistake, but now the defense is set, and now you're going to have to do the slow build out and whatever. I feel like Raheem Edwards, Julian Aude cannot come soon enough, because Raheem Edwards can no longer be that left back. He's making too many mistakes back there. And even in when he takes positive things, like he had that shot in the game where, again, he dribbles, he makes a good run, he gets the ball, he dribbles into a defender, which was a mistake. He makes up for it, he gets away from it, but then he puts a pass to nothing, to nobody. He had two good options. He made a pass to the late run. Nobody's making that late run. And I think it's not good for a team who already can't create a lot of chances. You can't have a player that is in this like zone where like your teammates don't know, is he going to make it through? Oh shit, he made it through. Well, there's nobody there. Or, hey, Raheem's got the ball. Everybody move up. Oh, he lost the ball. Crap. Now we're all caught up the field. I don't know. The Raheem Edwards is wearing thin on my patience, I think. And I think if we were scoring goals, whatever, it's just, that's just Raheem, But if the way that we're playing right now, it doesn't feel nice.
Yeah, I mean, look, well, one thing for sure I feel I know is that Raheem is nowhere. He's not worried about his position in this team. I don't think Vanny has any issue with how Raheem's been playing. I think he actually likes most of his choices. So he's definitely going to stay. So I just hope. I mean, we need competition. So we'll see what happens with Alday. But man, we really need him to tighten him up. Tighten him up.
Well, I mean, Well, you know what's going to happen, right? I mean, I think I'm not sure if Vanny had hinted this or this was the plan. Let me say two things here. Transfer window is going to be closing pretty soon, right? You're probably about a month away. You have about a month, but a short month away from that.
February away.
There's no rumor out there right now. There's nothing that we're hearing that a player that we're going after.
There is one big one. There is one big rumor out there.
Is Isco?
Zava?
No. No. There's one big gigantic rumor, guys.
Messi.
I find that so hard to believe for us,
collectively putting into the.
He won't go to the Galaxy.
It won't be our choice. It won't be our choice. It'll be his choice, just like Zlatan. It'll be his choice.
It'd be more down the Beck strain. I feel like that relationship is tightened with him.
No, I don't think so.
This is bigger than Beck's. At a different era in MLS.
You're saying the relationship between Messi and Beckham? Oh, I thought you meant yes, that's possible. But I thought you meant it was more on the when Beckham came, it was a fiasco. I see what you're saying.
You know what? What's going to happen?
Maybe that's the case.
You know what's going to happen? He's gonna look at the records and be like, St. Louis is on top. I want to go to St. Louis.
Oh man, him and Klaus.
Hey man, if he's as good as they say he is, no, he's not. He's not moving Klaus out of his position. If he's as good as they say he is, he can go to the worst team and still be great. So then he's coming to us.
Just coming to the Galaxy. So again, no real rumors out there to fill in the winger spot. So it looks very much like they're going to strike out here. And obviously if that happens, that's it. That your roster is all but locked unless you do some sort of interleague trade, which I actually started thinking about that. Look at the players that we signed in the offseason. You have like Mavinga, you have Rodriguez, and I'm like, these are things that you could have done in the summer. Why did you go after players that were not available in the summer? And so, whatever, Galaxy. Anyway, so if that guy doesn't come, if a player is not signed, it's looking like Vanny is just going to say, you know what, I'm going to have Auda in the left back, and I'm just going to move Edwards in the wing. Because Edwards obviously likes going up. He likes, playing in that side. So his liability is mostly defensive, being, getting, caught out of position, doesn't know how to, track back. He's just, it's just not there. So I I think that's probably where he's headed. It's not the solution that I would have preferred, but it does look like that is likely what's going to happen. So, but as David said, Julian Alde cannot come in soon enough. He is officially signed. So, who knows how long before he gets to play. Although, to be fair, credit where credit's due, we didn't have to wait 6 months for Caligari to get his first start. So, maybe things are actually moving in a reasonable pace. All right. Since we're talking about players, who was the highest rated player in this game?
Brugman for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Brugman, but like I said, I feel like the stats are gonna say Raheem Edwards.
It's Brugman.
Okay.
It is Brugman.
Okay.
Okay. All is right with the world.
Okay.
8.7 for Gaston Brugman. He has been, I don't want to say lights out. Lights out would have been a little bit more along the lines, hey, what else is he doing? But he's been, maybe the heat map isn't the way Ricky Puig is, but I think he's probably right now the best player on the team. Right now, I think he's playing the best soccer on the team right now. Who is the second highest rated player?
I'll probably say Tyler Boyd, even though he didn't really grow. Oh, no, it's probably Ricky Puig just based on touches.
Yeah, I'll go with Ricky, but he has a card as well. He has a yellow on him. Would it be one of the defenders? I'm gonna go with Ricky, but would it be a defender?
It is a defender. It's Edwards. Come on, guys. Come on, guys.
This is the game that we were talking about.
Yep. 8.3. 8.3 for Edwards. As far as his stats, 62 out of 68 passes. Now, I'm not really sure if it's just going, because he didn't create any chances. He only took one shot, and it was blocked. 97 touches on the ball, 3 out of 4 dribbles completed, 2 out of 4 accurate long balls, 3 out of 4 tackles won. He obviously kept a clean sheet. Aerial duels, 2 out of 2. Ground duels, 8 out of 13. That wasn't good, but 8.3 for Edwards. Who was the lowest rated player? This was actually a little tough for
besides Efrain Alvarez.
Yeah, let's not talk about
This
Alvarez.
one's tough.
Yeah, I think we've said our piece on Alvarez. God. Okay, sorry. No, not Alvarez. Lowest rated player was, other than Jonathan Klinsmann, because it's always the goalie for some reason, maybe Jalen Neal, even though I don't think he was bad. I thought he was fine, but he did give away a couple of balls, and I feel like it's just going to be a numbers game at this point.
I'm going to go with Memo. I just can't really see anybody else, really.
So officially it is Jonathan Klinsmann, which I think is interesting because he kept a clean sheet. And by the way, he made one save.
Yeah.
And it came in the 88th minute. So that was the only one that he saves. The Timbers took 10 shots. 4 of them were off target. 1 of them was on target. That's half the shots. Where did the other ones go? Well, this is where you kind of give credit to the defense. And again, you're blocking the shots before it gets to its destination or a chance to get to its destination. So there is that. But again, you're also taking long shots. So you got to figure that you're probably going to have to cross. You have to get through a lot of bodies in order to even get anywhere near your destination anyway. But again, credit to him for making them take those low percentage shots. And that one shot that was taken, again, I believe it's the one that he smothered. It's the only save that he had to make. So statistically, for a goalkeeper, you're not making that many saves. No, there's nothing to really go off by.
Maybe that's why. Maybe he didn't get enough points to. Maybe Raheem got more points because he would give the ball away and then get it back. Give it back.
That's how he does it.
Mm-hmm. That's padding his stats, man.
That's how it's. Yep.
Yeah, smart. It's like missing the layup to just pad your rebound stats.
Yeah, exactly. All right, guys. Is there anything else?
Yeah, no. Wait. Field player. Field player Tyler Boyd, 6.9. He did have a red card. A red card. A yellow card.
No, a yellow.
I'm sorry. Yes, yellow card. No, the yellow card. So that brings it down a little bit. So the other thing I do want to say. If you guys are wondering. Obviously, Edwards is the highest rated defender. Second highest rated defender is Caligari at 7.7, and he also got a yellow. So again, another. He created 3 chances. So you got to break heads. All right. Yeah, he created 3 chances. He also took 1 shot, which was also blocked before it got to its destination. Let's talk about Jalen Neal for a little bit. I want to talk about him, then I want to talk about Batty really, really quickly. Jalen Neal. Obviously, Jalen Neal deserves a start. I think he's playing well. 19 years old, 20 years old, doesn't look like he's a 19 or 20-year-old. He plays like he's been there before. He plays like he belongs, which is very, very, it's a breath of fresh air, right? You don't look shaky back there. I'm trusting Jalen Neal here. I think him and Cáceres pairing up together is working at the moment. I think they understand each other. Now, again, you're playing against weak opponents. I don't want to read too much into this. I'm not going to praise this pairing or even Neal as much as, we would like to. Big test. Huge. Phenomenal test coming on Saturday when you got to mark Jordan Morris. You got to keep Rusnak in check. You got to keep Chu in check. You got to keep Loneto in check. This is a formidable opponent. Mm-hmm. The Galaxy are going to have their hands full. Now, Jalen Neal, for as much as we said we like him in the back, has been the lowest rated defender in every game that he's played in. Now, maybe that's hey, he's 19, right? He shouldn't be the best player because that says a lot about the Galaxy if he is your highest rated player and your best defender, who is essentially, again, a rookie coming in and just.
But a lot of times we had Julian Araujo be the top rated player.
This is true.
I think we all can agree that we think that his performance is better than what we hear in the rating. I think that's what we're seeing. I mean, it's not because of age.
No. But I mean. Whether we want to see it or not, age, more importantly, experience plays a factor. And this is his first time, even if he is with the U.S. under 20 national team, where he has international experience, which is still obviously a step up from what he was normally playing with in Galaxy 2 or even with at practices with the first team. He was still playing against other players his age, right? So now he's playing against other professionals, all the way up to 34 years old with much more experience, have been in the league or been around the world. So it obviously is a different type of experience playing in MLS as a starter week in, week out. But, he doesn't look shaky. He obviously has his moments, but for the most part, he recovers well. He knows his mistakes. He looks like he can read the game very, very well. But yeah, his rating has been down for some reason. We have seen him give the ball away. We've seen him give bad passes. He has been beat. He recovers, but, he does get beat. Obviously, this is all going to improve. And, the praise for Neal, I think, is legitimate. But as I said, we haven't played anyone that can do some real damage. We always said that against Kansas City, that was against any other opponent that can actually shoot straight or even a half-decent team, we're losing that game. 100% we're losing that game. So it's going to be interesting to see how this defense and how, Caligari is going to be his second game in there. It's going to be a completely different game than what we saw in Portland when they were – it's going to be a completely different game
that we've seen the whole season so far.
Yeah,
exactly.
You're going from 50cc on Mario Kart to getting into F1 and being like, holy shit.
Yeah,
it's going to be.
No, this is going to be the highest stress test that they're having so far.
And then they're going to have another one the following week, and then they'll have another one the week after. So, sorry, not the week after, but was it 2 weeks after, right?
Yeah, the LAFC games on the 16th, I believe.
And I'll say this about Jalen too, is that I think that he's been fine. He's been, I think, exactly where he's expected to be, and he's been steady. He hasn't also given us like nervous moments like Cáceres did in this last game, where he probably should have got called for a penalty. I think he was very lucky to not get a penalty called there.
I saw the actual extra replay where they go frame by frame. He actually did get the toe on the ball. He did before.
It doesn't matter. It was
he goes through the player. He goes through the player. It's a 50-50 call where the referee can decide.
Sounded like a different David from the day of the game. Okay.
Well, yeah, no, but when you look at the replay over and over again, you look at it and go, it's
no, it
tough.
was a dangerous call. It was not a dangerous call. It was a dangerous play. But what I'm saying is that the official shot is that he actually got a foot on the ball, and that's why the ref didn't call it.
Yeah.
Either way, I think, like I said, if you want to be positive, you're saying, hey, you're not allowing a goal and defense is improved. It is factually correct. However, they haven't been truly tested yet by someone that can genuinely hurt you. So it's going to be interesting to see how they react to this Saturday coming up against Seattle. The other thing I really want to quickly just touch on is, since you guys mentioned Alvarez, not going to talk about Alvarez. We've said what we need to say about Alvarez. Why everyone's just kind of blaming him as if this is a new thing is beyond me. The guy, we've said it, like he's given us everything he's going to give us. He's a waste. That potential is not going to be reached here, at least. You need to like ship him off.
He's hit it. He's hit it already. He's hit his ceiling.
Yeah, he for us, he has hit a ceiling. If it goes, again, if he goes into Liga MX and he thrives because of the difference in play, then that's fine. Good on him. But as far as MLS, he has hit his ceiling. There is nothing more that he can give the Galaxy. So, giving Vanny a little bit of a handicap here, in that the only substitute you made in this entire game was Efrain Alvarez. And the moment that happened, it seemed that the Galaxy went down another level from that moment on.
Pretty significant.
Yeah. A, why keep playing Alvarez? And B, why is that your only sub? And I get it, because this is another theme that's been like plaguing the Galaxy ever since, Chris Klein has taken over, or more accurately put, ever since Bruce Arena left. There is literally nobody on the bench that you can count on to come in and say, hey, let's change the game up a little bit and give us a spark. It was Joveljic if he's, starting behind Chicharito. But other than that, there's nobody else that we can bring in off the bench that says, okay, well, how do we change this?
I think Bobby and I were talking about this a little bit. We're like going over who else could come in that could help with the offense. And I think the only other name other than Efrain that we could come up with was Uri Rosell. And
even then there's not really much it's the same thing
it's not Saldana. It's not, you have,
is Donnie Perez still injured, or is he on the team
no, but he hasn't been, he's there. He was on the bench for this game.
See, if that's the case, if you know that Alvarez is a bust, if you know he's not giving you anything, and if you need to make a sub, because the thing is, again, I get the handicap here. I get it would have been a better sub. I think Aguirre would have could come in and had more of an impact in the game. The point, at least defensively to that game, and then freed up the other players to be better offensively. But yeah, Efrain Alvarez coming in, it was a waste of a sub. I feel like it was Greg Vanney giving Efrain an opportunity to go in and make an impact, show him something. And all we saw was just Efrain doing his usual things. He came in and he was trying for like the hero moment, and it was really easy for the defenders to read him. They kept giving him the right side. He wouldn't take it. He was too slow to transition anything, and he was constantly looking for that left foot wonder shot. For me, I think like the whole point of me saying this is that if obviously there's something I can kind of understand it with Cabral, right? In that Vanney had to see that Cabral was not it. Like he wasn't going to do anything. And obviously that's why he ended up shipping him off. He's got to see the same thing with Efra Alvarez, right? I mean, he's got to see the same thing that we are all seeing, in which case, okay, look, if you didn't learn your lesson with Cabral, if you're still forcing this issue because he's not a DP, is it because of his background, his heritage?
No, I don't. I think it's because the Galaxy has spent a lot of time and effort trying to make him a thing, and he's just not going to become a thing.
Yeah, and so at that point, that point, why not give somebody else a chance then? At that point, why not roll the dice and say, dude, we have nothing to lose here at this point? I mean, you kind of do, but you then at the same time, you kind of don't. Why not give somebody else? Why not give Aguirre a chance? Remember when Aguirre and Preston and someone else came in and completely changed? I think, was it the Vancouver game? What game was it where like they all came in? They're like, "Hey, why don't you just play them earlier? Why aren't these subs used more often?" So why not just do that? Why be stubborn and say, "I'm going to continue to play Alvarez," knowing that he hasn't done anything and has basically dipped into a level where it's not even worth him coming on anymore. You're not even good for a shot. So, and of course, everyone needs the scapegoat, and Alvarez is currently last year it was obviously Kevin Cabral and Costa. They're both not here right now, so it's got to be Alvarez because right now he's the worst player on the field. That's not any different than what we have been seeing. But at this point, you need to go somewhere else. You need to try something new. And again, I don't know if this is just Vanny's stubbornness or what, in which case that's a huge liability, which, my God.
I mean, I think it is. I think it is. I mean, we've seen it. We've seen it multiple times. Yeah. So
we've seen the stubbornness. I mean, it was the same with GBS, cross. We need more crosses. It's the same thing with Vanny. It's a stubbornness in the way that he wants to play, knowing that he doesn't have the players to play that way, or fit a different system. He has players that fit a different system better, and he continues to want to play the way he wants to play. I mean, it's pick your poison, I guess.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, we're gonna have to end this episode. You guys had anything last words to say?
Probably don't watch the Seattle game.
No. Lewis, fast.
Just pour me more drink. That's all I want. Just more drink.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for listening. This is LA is Our House, episode 291. Saying goodbye. This is David and Lewis.
Bye.
Bye, guys. We'll see you next week.
See you guys later. Bye.